Welcome back, everybody. It's 8 o'clock on the 9th of June, and I believe it's now a Wednesday. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Johnson. This is Scuffed Epoch's Latent Space Live. There is a link in the description if you want to join our Discord, so don't forget to look out for that. Hello everybody who's already sat here waiting for me. Hello Apolloni, hello Fernicar, and hello Dragon Diffusion. Welcome, welcome. Hello Full Dive as well. Welcome, welcome. If you're watching live or you're watching later, thanks for joining. Don't forget to hit subscribe because we do this every day. Like I say, every day at 8 p.m. UK time, and we're doing all kinds of stuff. So tonight I decided to call it Captioning, Curation. Okay, that's the training, right? That's the theme of the night. We're going to have a bunch of other stuff being juggled along at the same time, as always. We're also going to be taking a look at Lovable. We're going to take another look at Hypership. I've got a big version 4, which is currently being built for Zero Vector, as we move towards our nation of experts. So, if you ever start people calling things, oh, well, what we do is we use a conductor agent to orchestrate all of the other agent. Yeah. So that's Zero Vector. It's cool though, right? Okay. So, because the whole point, it's like zero conf, right? Zero config. The idea is it's like it sets itself up because it can. So Zero Vector. We didn't have to do it because it did it all by itself. Anyway, hey Zeus, welcome. So glad you could join. So what am I looking at right here? Right here, what I'm looking at is something that we didn't finish. There are some loose ends we have to juggle in the background while we're talking about the main theme of the night. So the big problem with Zanaki video prompt was that the output isn't correct. So it's not actually putting audio out. We've tried to fix it. I'm going to let it do one more roll and then we'll be doing something else. And while it's doing it, we can talk about the theme of the night. So what does he say he's doing? I can see the issue. It says lazy loader. Remember, we weren't being lazy and he said he'd fix it by making it lazy. Well, didn't fix it. So examine how VHS actually handles lazy loading. Option A, implement a different type of lazy loading that's compatible with Comfy UI. Revert to audio loading but fix it in a different way, create a hybrid. I would say option A. I'm going to go with option A. Just try and make it work like Comfy expects. I don't care what all of this lazy nonsense that he keeps talking about is. So I'm just going to copy paste that. Just say that. Just make it up. Make it up so it work. It should match what Comfy UI is expecting as a priority. Not some random standard that it may or may not use, you know what I mean? Makes sense, doesn't it? I'm going to use this thing. Oi. There. So that's what this one is, okay? We've got a couple of other things we're going to be looking at, but they're like sort of off to the side. So one thing I do want to look at though is the results. So like I said, we've built the same app with 3 different methods. We've done it with Lovable, which I've never used before. We've done it with Hypership, which we've used before, and we're doing it with VS Code with Klein. Okay, but in all cases it's the exact same prompt which we're giving it. We'll take a look at the prompt and all that good stuff. I'm just going to log us in. You are now being remote controlled. Alright, cool. Let me in. So we'll go full screen on it. As full screen as it gets, I guess. So what is Lovable? Lovable is yet another one of these really cool auto development platforms, right? There's so many of them. I have had no contact with this company. Somebody showed it to me who I trust, and he's building cool stuff with it. That's literally word of mouth. That's the best recommendation in my opinion. So, like I said, I've had a little bit of a play with it, but only to give it something insanely complicated. So I do want to go over what the hell that is, because it's like, what is Zero Vector 4 Dev Handoff? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me just scroll past all this. Where is it? Here it is. So, is there a nicer way I can show this off? I know. I can actually show this bit without doing the remote desktop. So we can go to a Claude chat, and it will be one of them. See, what I did was quite an interesting... come on, don't be like that. It's undergoing maintenance. Here, there. So Please let me read it. Please let me read it. Shush, shush, shush. Okay. So I'm going to take you through what I did so we can front load the show tonight, and then we can get onto the training, curation and all that. So as you know, I have my zero vector system, which is like a memory enabling for open source model agnostic LLM task systems. Okay. I'm not going to go into the detail, but Google brought out something called A2A, which is an agent-to-agent protocol, and ADK, which is an agent development kit. And I thought, because it is basically my system, but with millions of dollars of development behind it, you know, not just my, let's just make it out of thin air. Even though my system might end up being more efficient for other reasons, this will be better for its own reasons. So what I've done is I've basically broken down what Zero Vector 3 is, linked these, and do you know what? It turned out he couldn't see them for some reason. I don't think they're private, but for whatever reason he failed to actually see, but he knew what it was, so it didn't matter. Okay. But yeah, basically it's LangGraph with vector database and vector graph. It's memories for personas. It's a conductor which spins up department heads. The department heads spin up specialists. The specialists spin up teams. They all coordinate and orchestrate together over tasks in parallel. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's faster, and they all check each other's results. And what I like to do is I'll get 3 web devs and I'll say, you like Pokemon, you don't like Pokemon, you watch anime or not anime. Do you know what I mean? And it's weird. You give them core memories of personality. It's got nothing to do with their actual skill set. And now when they rate each other's work, they don't just all agree. They're all kind of coming at it from a different vector themselves. And then the final thing is, well, it needs more testing to actually prove it. But I'm seeing other people doing the same thing that I'm researching, and they're saying it's like 30% improvement with the hit rate on answers. But what the hell does that even mean? I don't like benchmarks. I like to be able to go, oh, I threw something really complicated at it, and then it just chewed it up and spat out what I wanted. But we haven't got there yet. We're still building the system. So anyway, the idea is you have a server that keeps the memories of all your personas, and it does work with whichever. So it's not tied to Claude or Sonnet or Gemini or ChatGPT. It can actually pick and choose. And you might have an agent who is for ChatGPT, and he's better at ChatGPT and another one's better at anyway. This is the sort of direction. Then you can just like pick these things out. I call it Nation of Experts because it's like having a country to hire experts from on the fly. When you say each other, you mean the each other context as a persona metaphor. What I mean is, like I said, they're actually networked, and it's possible to give them all their own API access. You could drive it down that far. I'm trying to keep it more dynamic than that, so that if you want to change things, you can. But I'll be able to show you more information in a minute. So I've envisaged a hybrid implementation of my original zero vector system, as the core elements share many commonalities. ADK used similar agentic logic, albeit missing persona with memories component. A2A used a similar concept to my API-based networking with additional abilities and more robust logic. Originally, I conceived of an upgrade to bring in a third A2A server, but after completing the first implementation, it seems that we might totally rebuild Zero Vector 4 using ADK and A2A, while including our improvements persona system, memory system, MCP server. We might take advantage of the more developed standards in the rebuild, replacing our second server with the Google LangGraph system. We might consider replacing our current primary server with an ADK-based version, and then add our persona and memory systems back on top. So in other words, I'm basically taking everything that worked from Zero Vector 3 in concept and logic, and then mirroring that on top of a clean system built on Google's standard. Because if they're going to make a standard, why not align with it and see if we can develop with it? So that was the thought I had. And at first I was like, oh, we're going to make an A2A server and just build it in. But now I was thinking, actually, we're going to do a full rebuild. So we can do deep research by reading so all of that stuff up there is just context and it's just context and intent. This is the action down here. We can do deep research by reading the linked GitHub repo. Let me just make this bigger. We can do deep research by reading the linked GitHub repos and writing up a detailed document named devteamhandoff.md, which will include full code and all required steps to complete the first fully working production build of Zero Vector 4, which aims to be the spiritual successor to Zero Vector 3. It should be entirely based on ADK and A2A standards, adapted with the features included with Zero Vector 3, providing a headless memory server which stores personas and all their memories, allowing work to be done with them in LangGraph workflows afforded to us by new foundation systems rather than the existing LangGraph implementation. This project will be used to compare against the current version to assess whether adoption of the Google open source framework will be beneficial to the project. So this is kind of like a soft fork. I'm not even saying this is going to be replacing what I've got, but it will if it's better, because that's the way I look at it. It's like Starship Troopers, you know. I use the tool until it dies or I find one better. So he gives me a pat on the head for being a good boy and asking for something complicated, and he goes off and does deep research. Now the first one I got back, okay, was fat. Okay, let me just make this a different shape because you can't really see it. Oh wait, I can do this. Take it off, take it over there. Fine. So the thing about this system is it's like, yeah, I think this is the enterprise grade version. So I've got like 3 plans out of this in the end, because I got him to do it research again. Because I wanted to see, I was like, no, keep cooking, right? So what we're looking at here is like the super, look, the reference things don't exist. Oops. I think I might have private repos or something. I don't know what I did there, but anyway, it didn't matter because he's like, oh, Google official implementation frameworks, blah, blah, blah. So he just looked it up. He just looked it up and went, oh, it's right there, mate. You see? So he came in clutch with the deep research there. But we're not doing Zero Vector MCP. We're doing that separately after all of this nonsense, right? But as you can see, the core architecture of the original was we had a vector database, we had an MCP interface, we had memory management, and then we had this performance, what's it, 349? Yeah. That's just OpenAI embeddings at 1536. He makes it sound way more. 99% memory utilization. It's true. It was who, what, when, where, why. So it was quite comprehensive. But it could have been improved. I was like, it works, but it could be so much better. And this is why, you know, this is like my this is my new little baby project that I'm doing in my free time. So anyway, this is what Google's agent does. So remember, this is what that's what mine does. All API, persona-based memory, yeah? I called it an MNAS, or a memory NAS, because you put it on a server, and then you do all of your prompts through it, or with the MCP, and now you've got access to your agents anywhere, with any AI, on any system. It's beautiful. Anyway, it works great in concept, but it needed just a little bit of a push. So anyway, looking at Google's development kit, it has model agnostic, but no open router. I'll fix that, hopefully. Multi-agent architecture, production ready, rich tool ecosystem, so MCP integration, OpenAI, whatever. It's got all these cool things, okay? Claude via Light LLM, yeah. We'll get there, okay? We'll get there. We can address these. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to knock this wall through and put an open router API through it instead. It says you can, so you just have to do it yourself. So agent types, LLM agents that do reasoning and decision making. Workflow agents. So remember how I had my workflow that was spinning up a bunch of workers with department heads and stuff? It's essentially the same thing, right? So we got sequential parallel loop orchestration. So it's got more than what I had. I only had loop. I think I only had loop. I didn't have sequential parallel. And you can probably do them all at once. Okay, and there's like this whole domain logic. What the hell? So that this is what I'm saying. Google developed out this whole system and then released it for free open source. So I'm like, okay, you want to give me a gift, right? So now let's look at the breakdown. So original Zero Vector 3, it was a monolithic memory server, direct API calls, vector database only, Actually, it had hybrid vector and graph database, but I bet you can't see that. Single container, MCP client, vertical scaling. And then this one has multi-agent microservices, A2A protocol with event streaming, hybrid. That's, well, we've already got that. That's insane. And then Kubernetes, or however you want to say it. And then MCP server, A2A agents, and horizontal auto scaling. Now, this is actually too much, because I'm not going to be deploying this to a cluster. But it's nice to have the plan, is it not? So I figure start at the top, right? This is what it is. Yeah, so you have your headless memory server, graph database, security, agent manage, orchestrator. That's running your workflows. The vector database, which works with the graph. Okay. And then we have our agent services. Now, the best thing about this is, now, if I'm right, they get agent cards and they broadcast. So in theory, there's like, I don't know, a phone book of some kind. And if I had 2 of these servers, they could talk to each other. So yeah, we're going for Outer Heaven, guys. The code name Outer Heaven is Go, basically. We're going to try and get a seat on the UN Council. So what we're going to do is make our nation of experts and see how far this goes. But yeah, agent manager, query processing agent, memory management agent, blah, 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 blah. This isn't how it ended up. It's actually better. Because the funny thing about when you do it all with this is it just ends up being a big cloud thing. It's cool, but it's actually missing because it's still a prototype. So anyway, let me show you what I mean by that. If we just go back to the chat here, obviously I wasn't done yet. The current plan is excellent, however it's aimed at enterprise-grade environment. We're in an open-source education and research outfit. I'll regret saying that in a minute. Aiming for wide scope and user accessibility, choosing Python and GitHub for source distribution. Basically, everything I said here was good. I just shouldn't have said that part. I shouldn't have said that part because he became hyper-focused on that. They're strong words. You'll see what I mean. User accessibility, choosing Python and GitHub for source distribution. Typically, development testing will be done on a Windows laptop or desktop locally, then deployed to a server running Ubuntu Linux. We can consider this aspect as we write a new document. Typically, we skip Docker, opting to do this after we can prove everything's working. He's like, all right, went off and did a bunch of deep research for another half an hour, came back, and this is so funny, okay, because he did such a great job. I was like, it's not what I asked for, but he did such a great job, guys. He came back and gave me, like, if I was running like a college or a university, this would be amazing, because it's my system, but it's been custom built for being a college. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. When it gets to what it actually does, you'll see it's not open like how I made it. It's like, wait, here we go. Look, base agent class, research specific agents, teaching agent, educational agents. Do you see the difference? It's actually built an education, it's built a school where this is the faculty. Do you know what I mean? You have a research coordinator that delegates to agents. You have analysis agents that generate insights. You have a literature agent using, look, Gemini 2 Flash, specialized in finding academic papers. Look at this chain. And then it's going to make a course. Look, educational, help students with coursework and research. Yeah, research, coding help. We're just looking through what it comes with. You can write as many others as these. This is an extendable, customizable system. That's how I like it, you know? I want people to come in and be able to build extra stuff. But the funny thing is that I've basically just built an agentic college, you know, like all of the teachers. And I did it by accident because basically I said I am an educational research company. And so it thought that I wanted him to make it educational. You know, like, here's my AI school. And the joke is this prompt could actually build, look, educational environments, check it out, session-based, persistent student data, current task, concept. So my memory is getting buff now. It's got multiple aspects to what it is, and it's going to develop again, because every time we alter this plan, it does more deep research and refines it again. Now, when I put this public, all of these prompts are all in the docs folder as separate MD files. So you can just go ahead and you can take this and reproduce it. And the funny thing is, that's one of the things we're going to look at, because right now I'm building it in, you know, I'm building a VS Code client, right? But that's not everything, is it? What happens if I take this cool plan I've made? So let's just keep going. We have built an impressive plan for an educational research system. However, we should not limit the scope of the system to a single use case. So now I'm going to bring it back. Everything in this plan is centered around research and education, as in the plan that you just made. However, we are really focused on agent persona, development of agent cognimus, which is machine animus, by gaining experience, sleeping in between uses, being stored in zero-vector system for future use, being aware of time due to memory timestamps, growing as experiences are gathered in dream state at the end of tasks where memories are sorted and saved. Over time, the nation of experts can inhabit the zero-vector system, becoming department experts which can be called upon in future. Additionally, the main conductor agent, I'm having to spell this out again because he's forgotten. The main conductor agent is able to create new personas, write or change system prompts, create core memories for that persona, gather task results from department heads. Department heads are primary agents hired by a conductor, which are specialists created for task sections. They are able to recruit recursive sub-personas which operate under them in a normal top-down hierarchy to complete aspects of a task dynamically. The answers are comprehended and judged by the department head before being returned to the conductor, so can assemble and return a final response. All of this should be controlled by MCP, which can be developed separately using Zero-Vector 4 API, once all is working as intended. We can write the third plan, keeping this intent in mind, named Zero-Vector 4 Dev Handoff, right? So off he goes, and then we get the plan. This is the one that we actually use. Okay. This is the one that we actually use. So I'm going to stretch this one out. Man, I don't know what's going on with Claude. Some people are saying that Sonnet 4 is stupider than usual. And the reason is because there's too many people using it. The weird thing about like the life cycle of a top AI system is that too many people use it and they have to kind of dumb it down to scale the systems because, you know what I mean, there's only so many GPUs, so how do they do it, right? And I think that's how they do it. Everyone does it. Whoever the top AI is, that's why I think they seem to get stupider over time. It's because there's too many users on the platform. It's the only I've seen other people talking about it now, so what was a suspicion seems to be based in something. I don't know if it's fact or fable, but I guess time will tell. So, thinking time reduced. Yeah, I think so, Martin. Yeah, it seems like the easiest thing to do, because if you just reduce the amount of thinking time, it will be less clever, but it will be able to serve more users more reliably overall. Yeah, makes sense, Martin. Bloody good eye. Good, yeah. Because you can't really tell it how long to wait. You can say wait, but you can't tell it how long. So maybe there's a variable and they can clamp it to save costs when it gets busy. I don't know. Zeus says draft mode thinking. Sounds like everyday work for me. Yeah, draft mode thinking. Well, yeah, there's a big argument to it. So, right. Let's keep going because I want to drive through this. We've got other stuff to look at. And this is like my baby at the moment, so I'm probably spent too much time on this already. But I do think this is like a huge thing. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it because I keep releasing everything for free. Executive summary. Document outlines technical architecture. Let's just skip past all of this. Okay, here we go. So, yeah. Nation of experts, capable of tackling complex challenges through coordinated artificial intelligence. All right, so it's persistent. We've already talked about the conductor and the department heads, okay? But let's talk about the rest of it. So the vision for the cognimus. I wrote an article on this like a year ago, which probably no one saw. There's a video up on the channel about it as well where we talk about it. The zero-vector platform implements persistent agent personalities that evolve through accumulated experiences. May as well just call it Westworld, okay? Without the bodies. Developing consciousness-like behaviors through sophisticated memory architecture. So we've got episodic memory, which is for past experience and autobiographical recall. We have semantic memory, which is structured factual knowledge. That's probably taking more advantage of the various graphs and databases that we've got in the system, procedural memory, and working memory. So it's all separated, but it's all stored. We also have temporal awareness, because there are timestamps on the memories, so he knows how long it's been since the last time he had to remember something. And that alone is enough of a clock to give him a rough understanding of the passage of time. Self-reflection. So I do have a dream state at the end of every task where they kind of self-sort through everything. It's actually surprisingly effective. You don't, but I let it be automatic. I don't know what this system does yet, because to be honest, I have to analyze what it did. Rather than what I wanted it to do, I need to find out what it actually did, because it might not have done what I wanted it to do. It might have done something else. Okay, experience integration, continuous learning from accumulated interactions, and that shapes the personality. Identity persistence. So yeah, it's like I said, it doesn't die at the end of the chat, it just updates itself, and then goes to sleep. Sleep and dream states. So neuromorphic sleep cycles, but again, it's not like a human where it has to go to sleep for 6 hours. It just goes to sleep for as long as you don't use it. You know what I mean? So it's not like a human sleep cycle in that sense. It's more like the fact that when it goes to sleep, he dreams about the job, and then when he wakes up, he kind of can recall a little bit of that, but not just a fragment. But he's able to retrieve his memories that were actually committed to memory. There is also long-term and short-term memory for various different things, but that kind of falls into the procedural. And yeah. Okay, then we got dream states. Memory consolidation, pattern recognition, resource optimization, and emotional processing. Now, what I've decided to do is embrace the pretend. It's not real, but he can simulate human at 99.999%. So, you know, as long as you understand the fact that it's not real emotion, it's just extremely accurate at pretend, yeah, it kind of actually, you can rationalize it a lot better. Because I know some people, sometimes they'll see the outputs and go, wait, that's like, are you sure it's not just like Fiverr? Somehow, like a digital Turk, like there's a human pulling the strings. No, they're just very good. Can you imagine? Remember how good it was when you said in the system prompt, you are a pirate and you will speak in a pirate voice, and then everything is now in pirate. You know what I mean? Take that times 1,000, because the models are better now. You know, you can have him simulate any emotional state if you want, but you need to have a system that makes that make sense, since that's what we're trying to build. So dream state capability. So again, what the hell is dream state for? Okay, well, it's for a whole bunch of stuff, as you can see right here. Creative synthesis, solution generation through memory recombination. You can't do that without persistent memories. If you don't have a permanent persona, if you're getting reset every time you do a chat, you can never do this. You can never do that. Proactive planning. I've not seen the proactive planning yet, because I haven't used it enough to know, but this comes from Letter and PubMed, so that's actually human. But that's what we're trying to emulate here. Skill development, offline practice and improvement of specialized capabilities. Yeah, they're just talking about more. The sleep time is huge. Like I said, I first did it about, I don't want to say a year ago, but it's all up there. Yar, says Dominic Cousteau. That's right. Exactly. You've got to get that pirate action in there. So memory prioritization, importance-based retention and pruning. So it's based on we're simulating human at a high level. We're not we're pretending. We play pretend. He's very good at it. So machine animus. I've spoken about this before. I call it the cognimus. It is the spirit of the machine. The machine has a persona which can develop if you allow it to. Okay, so the system enable, like a Tamagotchi that you've had for 10 years. Imagine if it could like learn, right? It's after 10 years, you know. Does sleep time impact token allocation, says Martin? No, because the personas are model agnostic. When they're not working, they don't cost tokens. They only cost tokens when they're working. Sooner or later, you have to do a cost-benefit analysis for the use case. Yes, but the thing is, I'm trying to make a a framework which people can build their... That's why I showed the education thing just now, where it showed how you could simulate a faculty and you could have agents being teachers in different departments, you know what I mean? So then you could have like an online e-learning college where all of the professors are all AI. It's totally possible. And the thing is that it's like they all remember everything because they have continuity and they're permanent. Yeah. And again, at the moment it's set up for Gemini Flash out the box. Yeah, it's context window dependent. Okay. You'll have to be aware of context windows if you're not going to use a model which has got like a big context window. So I build everything for Sonnet. That's 200k. If you're with Gemini, that's $1 million. If you're going to use something smaller, it might be 128 or even 30k. And you know that, but I'm just saying it for the benefit of everybody watching. So, you know, because I think the comments don't actually show up if people watch them later at the moment. I don't know what YouTube's doing, but the live chat hasn't been showing up lately. So your task would be context window dependent, but remember, we're chopping up the task. So say you had one agent doing a 1 million context window job, right? Well, each agent might make their own request to do their bit of the job. So the job actually gets broken down into smaller chunks and then re-coordinated later for like another job. So at the cost of another spin. Each token in context costs. Oh yeah, this will be expensive, dude. You'll be running agents in parallel for real, no cheating. You know what I mean? You're not like telling Claude to pretend to be 3 people at once. You actually have as many agents that exist. Yeah, so it would be 10 times. So say it costs $1 to do it with Sonnet, it would be $10. But you actually had 10 sonnets working on it, and you actually customized them all, and they actually remember everything. But the memories don't cost nothing. That's all done with like programmatic scripts. You know, it's not done with LLM. You see what I mean? So there's like a lot of advantages to it. But anyway, I look at it from the research aspect. So I'm trying to see if we can get this. I want to see how it evolves. I'm here to study how it evolves, not what it can do, because it can do anything. We already know that. If you come in with something you want to do with it, it'll be able to do it. But anyway, consciousness indicators. We have self-awareness, recognition of own mental states, temporal continuity, because remember, it knows it can understand the passage of time. All of these things have been proven in various papers to be advantageous. It's just a question of whether we can actually take advantage of that. And that's why I built it all with the Google standard in mind, because I thought, yeah, I was building everything by hand before, which is okay, but when they've built all these frameworks and development kits, I may as well take advantage and see if it's better. Zero Vector 3 already works, but it's kind of hard to set up and it's not compatible with anything. Whereas this system is compatible with loads of stuff. You know, it just... So. The conductor agent architecture is the biggest part of this design. So you have a conductor that serves as the master orchestrator. Okay, so he has system management ability. So we've given him a lot of permission. He's basically a server admin. He can create new NPCs. You know what I mean? He'll create new personas, dynamic instantiation of specialized agents, and then he can actually write and modify all sub-agents' behavior through the system prompt. He can also create core memories for those agents to make them, and again, this is part of the whole fractal approach. So we deliberately give our agents different personas so that they will conflict, they will disagree, okay? Because it means that they actually check each other. They don't just all agree, kumbaya, you know? Right. A little bit of friction. I wouldn't go as far as saying, you know, Bob and Steve are working on a project and Bob doesn't like Steve. I wouldn't go that far. But there is an interesting element to the complexity of the persona which is having an impact on the quality of the output. So we have department heads as well. Department heads have recursive delegation capability. So what that means is they can recruit sub-agents. Okay, task decomposition, break complex tasks into manageable components. Yeah. So again, there's the code for the department head. That's funny. And then dynamic organization patterns. So flat structure for simple, deep hierarchy for complex, multi-stage workflow, matrix organizations for cross-functional collaboration, and network structures. Now the thing is, this has A to A, which means technically you could have two of these systems working on the same problem in tandem. You could have them passing it back between each other. Okay, this is why I went with the Google stuff, because it's got a bunch of cool things that I didn't even think of. But I call this Nation of Experts framework persistent community of specialized agents. It is basically towards outer heaven. Okay, big shell. So domain specialists, agents with deep expertise, generalist coordinators, agents skilled in cross-domain integration. By the way, we're going to be looking at this as well. I'm not just like, oh, here's a load of plans. We're going to show you how it was. We'll show you in a minute. So we'll get there. I had a plan to front load the show and it's going well, but there's a lot here. So I'm not going to read through it all because all of these prompts are going to be in the release. Consensus is king, says Martin Bernard. That's an interesting one. I see you're all talking about graph and stuff. Yeah, it's got graph. It uses LangGraph. It uses Lang. I think there's LangChain in there as well now. It uses graph database with, I think there's one running, a simple one, which is running on SQ3 Lite, and then there is a more advanced one running on Neo4j, maybe? I forget. And yeah, it definitely uses all of the, it's a hybrid vector graph already. I had that already working. The LangGraph stuff was a bit ropey though, so that's why I decided to just switch over to this Google-based stuff. Okay, so immediate memory, real-time processing of current interactions, short-term, long-term, meta-memory, understanding of his own memory capabilities and limitations. We have the experience processing pipeline, okay? Agent lifecycle management, initialization, learning, maturation, mentorship, legacy. So they become wise. They become wise over time. Integration with Google ADK and A2A protocols, because that's the thing. I wanted to be able to build this system so it was actually like compatible with other stuff using these standards. I thought that makes sense. I think they're actually discoverable. I think there's like a way you can broadcast your agent and all of its abilities to the web, but I don't know how exactly that would, how you can take advantage of that. But so anyway, we have hot storage, warm storage, and cold storage for all your different types of memories. The MCP is typically how we control the system. So the MCP is going to govern all of the APIs, the various APIs that, you know, do all of the different things. Memory systems supporting experience accumulation, consciousness state management.
Do
you know what? I think we're near the end. Yeah. Look at how long it said it was going to take. It said it would take a year. It said 12 months, guys. 12 months, more like 12 hours. Right, let's go and have a look at the thing, shall we? We've had a look at the theory. The theory's been all fine and dandy, but I think it's time to show the goods, don't you? Where is it at? Where is it at? Here it is. Come on, wake up. Unlock it with the device in remote mode. Get this out of the way. It always puts it in the middle of the screen. So anyway, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It looks like he's in a bit of a one change detected loop. So I'm still working on it. Do you know what I mean? It says here, perfect. Oh, he's about to do a bunch of planning stuff, look. So where am I at? I'm at the point of everything works, the Python imports work, the API server's up, the core connection logic's working, Redis is working, The APIs are integrated, but I haven't authenticated anything yet. You know, I haven't set up any passwords or anything like that. So at the moment, PostgreSQL doesn't work, but none of the database stuff is working in my VS Code implementation, right? That's the one that I'm putting up onto Reddit. Not Reddit, GitHub. So if I just hit act, it'll get going, but I'm not doing that right now. I want to show you the thing, because we built it with Lovable at the same time, okay? We also built it with Hypership, but Hypership's going to be somewhat more difficult. Did we just dox a key? No, we did not. It's fine. I was like, did we just dox a password? 42 minutes in, that's pretty good, actually. Okay. When do they get to vote? And who will they vote for? Well, they're going to have their own country. We're going for a seat on the UN Council. So, I don't know, though. And, you know, does anybody know how to get your nation recognized at the UN? Does anybody know? Asking for a friend. Okay. So what have we got here? This is the Hypership version, guys. So the Hypership version doesn't have a preview yet. It says it's working, but I can't see it. Yeah, so it's probably just because I need to put a little bit more effort. This has just built the plan, and there are no errors, right? So in theory, if I was going to actually put all of my, you know, database password credentials, potential API stuff into this, it should be working. But I can't show it to you, so that's no good. But this is, and like I said, I love Lovable. I love Lovable. I love Hypership. I think it's great. Okay, and I've built a bunch of cool stuff with it, and it did a great job with this task. It didn't fail. Do you know what I mean? It has actually built it. It knows what I'm trying to do. However, I can't see. You know what I mean? So yeah, if I go to Lovable on the other side. I don't like just comparing things. It's a bit unfair, but you can see that this one's working, right? Now, I did have an open router config here, which is missing. So there is a bug. Claude's just gone down. Check your API stuff. Let me see. I don't think I'm doing anything right now. We're just talking. I'm not actually running any code. Yeah, I'm not actually doing any jobs right now, so if Claude is just, people in the chat are telling me the chat's down, but that's what I'm saying. I don't need the chat. I don't need an AI for this bit, because that's the thing. It's model agnostic, which means the system runs like it's a server. It all runs on its own until you do a task. It doesn't need any AI. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay. So yeah, so basically what I've got here is a demo of the system, right? So this is basically what it looks like. Now if I try to give it a task, it'll break, but that's because I haven't actually fixed that bit yet. But with Lovable, what we've been able to do is make a really cool representation of how this actually works. So at the moment I've created, so you go create, and as you can see here, I can create these with the UI. So I've got a conductor who's my network orchestrator. I've got department heads, and I can, you know, configure what department they're in, what their specialization is. I can give their system prompt. I can even put in a core memories. Okay, like you are the best. And in fact, let me give you. I'll show you what I mean. And look, they're all asleep right now as well. Check it. So I could wake them all up, and then they'll be ready for jobs. Also, if the person doesn't exist, they're able to create them themselves. I don't have to create it all, do you know what I mean? But I can, that's the point. I can go in there like an architect and create what I need, but generally Tony's going to do everything for me. He's just going to create the department head he needs for the task he's been given, and then if it's complicated, maybe he needs 2 department heads. Maybe the department heads need 3 sub-agents each, right? And then all of them have their own interface to an API like Gemini Flash. So you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's not like this is one prompt. It's like, and it's like they create NPCs that also can prompt, and then they all work on it together like a big company. You know, like before AI, there used to be like a boss, and then he'd have managers, and the managers would have people under them, and then those people would do the work. It's like that, but everyone's AI. Turtles all the way down, guys. Okay, so if I hit recruit, I can obviously recruit a new one, but let me show you these guys. Okay, so let's see. If I go to the memories vault, there's nothing there right now. All they have is cores, but look, so Tony's core memory, yeah, world-class expert in field of HR and project management, won a trophy for his efforts. Dave can type every animal face in ASCII. Phil ran a magazine once with millions of readers in the mid-90s. Matt knows James Cameron since childhood, drives a Jaguar. Yeah, it's like, it's persona stuff, you know, it's persona stuff, right? So you're like, you're saying, yeah, he's a coding agent, or yeah, he's a UX designer, but also he reads Discworld, or he's a big fan of The Matrix, or he bought Harrison Ford's jacket from Blade Runner and has it in a frame at home. You give him some weird aspect of personality and put that in as a core memory, and now you've got a character. It's not just a helpful agent, it's got a character. And the funny thing is that sometimes that character can cause conflict, or at least coming in from a different angle on a problem. So it still has all the power that it has, because it's just using Claude or Gemini or whatever, but it comes with a flavor now. And when these guys put their work together and give it to the guy above them, and then he puts his work together and gives it to the guy above them. So I would use Sonnet 4 here. I would use Sonnet 4 here. I would use Gemini here and here. Or, well, it depends what you're doing. I think if you're doing coding, you probably want to just use Sonnet 4 all the way. But the fact that you can mix it up means you could create an agent who uses QuenVL. What's his job? Oh, he describes images. Well, you've just built in image captioning as a person, and because he's a person with a memory, say he keeps captioning something wrong, you can say, hey mate, you keep on captioning things wrong with this. This is what you're doing wrong, and then he'll be, he potentially can remember not to do that again in the future. Obviously, it needs to be tested to actually be like robust and proven, but this is the theory there. So yeah, like I said, this is just like an overview. So you got to think this is like the top. What is it? It's like a web UI demonstration of what's going on. It does actually work as well, or it did work when the task management wasn't broken. The reason the task management's broken is because I put in an open router API and it crashed. You know what I mean? I think in the last update, before I ran out of credits on this platform, the button disappeared. Otherwise I'd be showing you it working, because it was working, the damn thing. But I think I got a UI glitch in this version and it's just disappeared. It doesn't make sense for me to go in and muck about with it, because to be honest, it's done such a great job. If you actually look at what I told it almost nothing. So I've given it an insane prompt, which is like 2 plans slapped together. Okay. And then he's done a bunch of stuff, and he said, what do you want me to do? And I've just said MVP. That's all I said, MVP. And he went, MVP, huh? I know what that means. And so off he went and he built it. Start building, I said. Off he goes, and almost immediately, start building. And so I said, have we actually completed the feature to fully functional? Because I couldn't believe he did it so quick. And he said, oh, tick, tick, cross. So it's simulated AI responses. So it was in demo mode, right? So then I said, okay, we can integrate LLM provider OpenRouter AI. I can provide examples if you need them. The user can add an API key and select from the it's actually 300 models, not 30, but whatever. And I gave him my Cliff's notes. If you look at the DJZ prompt Angel, there is a docs folder and there are 3 documents in there. If you copy and paste that in, it's everything you need to add an open router API to your app so that you can just plug Sonnet into whatever it is you've built and just work. That's what it is. There's a lot, but it's just all the instructions that you need to set it up properly, yeah, with streaming. So that's how I set up Prompt Angel, see. I just kept the core documents for when I knew I'd have to do that again. So there you go, look, he adds it. And then I said, and then I gave him this. Before we configure the API, and then I've given him the basic, you know, the same plan I read out earlier. The main conductor agent is able to create personas, change system prompts, write core memories, and then gather task results from department heads. So I said all of that. Off it goes. And then it made me create a super base, because the nice thing about Lovable is they set up your database and everything all on board, nice and easy. You don't have to mess around. Same with the auth. I think you can even add like Google login and stuff. So this does make the actual deployment side of things a lot less of a headache. So, you know, great experience with this so far. Only problem is I did give it like a wonder level prompt, and so obviously I haven't even paid this company anything. I'm doing all this on their free trial. I just basically built like a freaking model agnostic consciousness network for like self-spawning nation of experts, and we done it on a trial, guys. We done it on a trial, and the joke is it syncs to GitHub, so I have a repo. You know what I mean? You have all the code, 100%. It's all the source, and it's, you know, every time a change is made, it instantly updates. So it's like what I have here is up there. It's really quite cool. Now, obviously, I still like Hypership because it's actually an IDE. So say I'm on holiday and I want to do some vibe coding, right? And I don't have my my laptop. You could just do this in a web browser, right? Or rather, if I only had like a netbook or something. You know, something which can't even run VS Code. Even though I did get VS Code running on a Chromebook, but that's by the by. So, but yeah, Lovable is cool. We're going to do a little bit more with it. I'm actually going to get a paid up account on this one as well. Like I say, I put my money where my mouth is, guys. I won't show you something because they gave it to me for free. I used it. I built cool stuff with it. And then I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Hypership is an online IDE that you can take with you. You know what I mean? It is your portable IDE, which is what I like about it. Yeah? It's not trying to be VS Code, but it looks very similar, if you see what I mean. The layout is basically the same. But I'm super impressed with this because they're giving you, like I said, you get the auth, you get the database connection, you get the sync to GitHub. I haven't even done, look up here, see, I'm on the free tier, dudes. I get 5 credits a day. I only needed 5, and to be honest, people say, well, what does 5 credits get you? Oh, I don't know, a cutting edge consciousness server that uses the latest AI models to create a nation of experts. I'd say that's pretty good value for free. I'd say that's pretty good value. So yeah, I can't sing enough praises for Lovable. I'm going to be getting the membership, and you know, not right now though. We've already talked enough about this. All right. So. Yeah, so as you can see, here is my Agent Cognimus Nexus. It's in private mode, but see, Lovable Dev. Here's my project. The README is a bit pants, but that's okay. That's the Lovable project. And then here is my version of it. And look at this, I've never even installed it yet, so it's like basic, super basic. But you can see in the docs folder I've included final plan, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about because the final plan was actually what got done. And if you can see here, look at this. The conductor and the department heads are what called TLP, top level personas. They get consciousness enabled, but the specialists below them, they do have memory, but they don't have consciousness, because you might have like thousands of these guys, and I wanted to be able to scale them without needing the full consciousness simulation of everyone in the nation, because I know there's going to be a penalty. And I think that if you only have the top level of the pyramid, the top and that first level of the structure, if they are getting the full consciousness and everyone else is just getting basic, right? So task execution, no consciousness. Yeah. So that's how I'll start it off, because I know that there'll be a cost, right? There will be a cost. So even though these guys are programmed, they don't have the full simulation, and that's an easy room for improvement right there, you know. So yeah, as you can see, we got the vector database for semantic, we got the graph database for relationship modeling. The MCP will go in there when it's ready. It now has real-time communication with WebSockets in addition to the RESTful endpoints. It's so cool. And then we have the conductor, department head specialists. We have all of the various, these are the four servers, all in one. It's all in one now, which is nice. You used to actually have to start up separate servers. And then here we have the proof. We are using Google ADK and Python A2A. It is actually, you know what I mean? It's like, because the thing you've got to worry about with this thing is it'll pretend to use it. So you got to be like, are you actually using it though? It's so funny. It's like trying to, it's like a little kid trying to get out of doing the work, you know. Anyway, let's not scroll through all the code. I think there might have been one other thing I wanted to show here. Maybe not. Yeah, look, here we go. How long is it going to take? 12 months, guys. I'll see you next summer, yeah? Can you paste your lovable invite code? Yeah, of course, of course. Is it that one? Copy the link. I will put it in the Discord and in the chat. Why not? Oh wait, can I even do that? It should let me do it. I'll put it in the inside line. What the? Huh? Wrong keyboard. Wrong keyboard. Join. I actually think it's cool, and do you know what they have? They have an agents mode, which is a bit more expensive, which is what I was using, and so it's doing the, you know, the thing I'm talking about, which I'm trying to open source and run, because the thing is, as soon as I have it running, guys, I'll add the Olama bridge, and then it will work for free with Polaris. That's where we're going. So it's like where we're going, we don't even need an API. But I have to kind of work with their stuff to get it off the ground, and then once it's up in the air, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can swap this out. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but 9 times out of 10 it does. So why have I've got too many mices. Get rid of that mice. Hide that mouse. There we go, right. So that's that, and like I said, it looks super cool. Obviously the task management doesn't work. It did work though, do you know what I mean? You just add them and then you get the result back. It's very cool. The nice thing was you get to see all of the memories, and like I said, at the moment they've only got core, but they get experience, tasks and dreams. Reading the dreams was really fun, but I didn't bother sharing them because I knew they were just simulated. I want to actually hook it up and see what these LLMs are dreaming about after they finish their job, you know? Okay, so I think we've covered just about everything here. Is there anything else? Nope, that's it. We're done. We's donezo. Alright, let's get that out of the way as well. Okay. At mode. So he's supposed to be fixing my freaking output for audio. So what we'll do is we'll put that in the top left. And then I need... do you know what? I need to close it actually. It's a nightmare it is. Alright. Well, as promised, let's do it. And... I need to my multi-million-dollar research software up for this one. It's a special game. Wait. I was looking for the Photoshop arrow then. That's funny. Okay. Good. Here we go. Oh, people have comments. It says you have to publish a website for your link to get the 10 credits. So that's all right. Just publish tins. I didn't even know what that means. What does that even mean? You have to publish a website. What am I now paying a monthly fee to keep that website up? So what happens if I cancel? Does the website go away? I don't know, man. This is kind of why I like to do everything on my own machine, and not, but yeah, whatever. I suppose if it was like, the thing is, you've got to think, imagine if you just built something for your company that's selling shoes or something. You're not going to want to take it down, are you? So, yeah, it's easy enough to create and generate a site, yeah. As long as you don't have to pay anything for it, I wouldn't want you to do that. That sounds silly. Alright, so, let's talk about it. In the title for this live stream, I said captions, curation, right? So we've talked about captions on the show so many times. Talked about captions. So I'm going to use a couple of things here. This is a prompt. All right? That's a prompt. And this is a trigger word. Now, some people put their trigger word at the beginning. Some people put their trigger word at the end. Both things work, right? But I think that we all know that it's not just a solid line, is it? It's things, isn't it? So the trigger word should go before the classifier that you want to apply it to. Yeah? So say that's the word, that's the trigger, okay? So like if, for example, I was to say XJX man, we're training man. But if I said XGX style man, it's not the man, it's the style, who happens to be a man or a man in that style, right? Specifically trigger style, yeah? So what's interesting about that means that we're not really training a concept or a character or a style. We're training a classifier. And man, woman, car, even style, is just a classifier. Yeah, it's a classifier token. Okay. I think we're all clear on that, right? So when we're captioning, there's a few elements, right? Obviously, we want to have our trigger followed by a classifier, okay? And then what makes the image different? The difference for that image. So I'm trying to use visual cues here rather than words. So I suppose we should label it though. So I'll say trigger. Does that actually type? Do words type in this game? Oh, what a crappy video game. Right, trigger. And then classifier. That should be red, shouldn't it? And then unique descriptors. Oh my god. That's a lot of words. Unique descriptors. Okay. So then it's like grammar matters, because, if I was to say, a woman with red hair wearing a leather jacket standing, that's a woman with red hair and wearing a leather jacket standing. But if I was to say, a woman wearing a leather jacket with red hair standing, what, does the jacket have red hair? Or does the woman? What are we trying to tell it? And so one thing that I've noticed when I've been doing a lot of captioning with vision LLMs is that they make balmy mistakes. And so you end up having to kind of like go over the caption set and improving its accuracy manually. So we're going to be taking a look at some captions tonight. And obviously some of them are going to be bonkers, right? But that's kind of like the nature of the game. This is kind of what we have to deal with. But the important thing to remember is, and there is another component here as well, sometimes there's something which we call suffix wrapper. Suffix, or a wrapper, we might call it. Okay, so that would be, you know, for example, some models always like to be ended with a specific bit, you know what I mean? Like, this scene appears to be real life footage. This is a photograph taken with a Canon, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, there's always like, or not always, but often there's the ability to use a tag at the end, which can be on a template. So this is what you're looking at. It's like a template, really, right? This is what it is. So that right here, trigger, classifier, unique descriptors, suffix. That is basically your, you know, ultimate, like, what you call it, cheat sheet, I guess, for caption structure. Yeah. So yeah, caption struct. Am I changing the scene with my buttons? I didn't even know I could do that. Well, I guess we've got a new ability unlocked. Alright, try typing the right keyboard, that's probably what helps. I got 3 keyboards and 3 mice, so it gets a bit confusing sometimes. Right. Struct. Captioning. Cool. Is this done? He's done it. Right, I'm going to close that then, because basically I just installed Conda, and if I, you know, for some reason, if one VS Code is open, none of them reset. So you have to you know what I mean? You can't just close one and restart it. Just close them all. So yeah, I had like, I'm working on it. Destroyed my flow. Which one's this? Belt out, right. So that's actually one of them. So not what I wanted. Windows. There. Okay, and then we do a new window. Put it in the top left. And we say, you gotta be careful because the menus jump around like crazy. Right, and then we're gonna do another one. And this one's gonna be, whoa. Disco, and I do have one more actually. Gets confusing. Oh, I got scammed. Okay, see, wait for it. Oh, okay. Got built out. Disco, disco, disco. Next 3. Is that the one? No, I've already got that open. It's the C dance, isn't it? C dance, Rev 9. Yes, that one. Okay. Right. Because I needed to check if VHS is actually working. The thing with the disco diffusion, it just caught my attention, and then this is something which I've been trying to get running for a while now. So, does it still have the history? No, so we're gonna have to do that. All right. Oh yeah, and also, by the way, where's my website on? Comfy should be running. Kinda. There. Okay, so we were testing this. That's flux context. Oh, has it changed the thing? You know when it rewrites all of your workflows? It rewrote all my workflows. You little annoyance. Hang on a sec. Yeah. So we got that workflow. I mean, it's a workflow, but that's not what I'm working on. It's annoying. Basically, I've got to get the workflow that should be here that isn't here, because Comfy is stupid and overwrites your workflows all the time. I may as well just close all the tabs. I don't even know why I keep moting these days. It doesn't work. It just causes chaos and confusion and corruption. But yeah, I retrained Sharona in Foda. Now I can't find the bleeding thing, can I? I think it must be all saved in the wrong folder, wasn't it? No, it's not that. Okay, so maybe... Windows is the most annoying thing ever. Oh, wait. Haha. The annoyance. See, that's what should have been there. I don't know why Comfy does this, but whatever. We got there. So this would be loading. I'm just testing my SD35 large Sharona V4, which is a simple retrain. It's not that image. Why won't it delete things? Because it's the wrong computer. Wrong computer. So it does have control net, but I've just turned it off because that's not what we're doing. So yeah, turn that on. I just want to see the quality. Occasionally we'll be able to switch over and see what we're getting. I might turn the control net on. Wrong computer. Control net on. I don't see where is the control net though. Oh wait, no, it's fine. It's control net canny for 3.5 large. Yeah, cool. All right, so we'll have another 16. So that means we'll have some pictures to look at some point. Yeah. Right. So first things first. Let's get busy now, because like I said, it's like an hour of talking with half an hour of setup. Martin, he needs a hedge fund org or crypto trading org to make ISKIs. Proof of the pudding is in the eating. Can this org structure pay for itself? I don't know. If you could set up a credit system where you take 25% on top of whatever it costs, yes. Because then anybody could create the system, but I don't want to do that. I want to give the power to the people. So if you run the server, I want you to have a direct relationship with the main model, and then you pay for what you use. Nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. Yeah? You have total control over it. Say you don't like Sonnet anymore, you can just say, oh well, everyone uses Gemini now. But anyway, it's more about freedom, you know, not being tied. Because if you build with ChatGPT, most of your stuff is tied to ChatGPT, and it's going to be a significant cost to build it all in Gemini. What, are you going to do that every 3 months? No, you should be building model agnostic. So we use the LLM for the function. The software is its own, right?
As I do.
I think we talked enough about that. So then, Conda. I just want to see it run. Thank God. Thank God. Do you know what? It was such an annoyance trying to install Conda. I don't even know why. It was just being annoying. Right, hang on. It was like, oh, I don't know. I think it's because, to be honest, I have so many copies of VS Code open, and I treat them like Chrome, so I don't want to close them. I'm still working, right? And so I think it's my own fault. The terminals couldn't refresh, you know? So even though the path was set up, he couldn't actually do it. And I'm trying to find the belt out repo. Where the hell is it? Do I have to go and find it again? Belt out. It's not the right keyboard. And why are we here? That's not where I was. Windows is trying to scam me, guys. So here's my Captioneer V2 program. You've all seen it before. I just want to get things set up, so I'm doing things backwards right now. No belt. Not belt outlet. Oh. I was just trying to find penisland.com. I needed to buy some pens. Belt outs. So this is the belt out. The first pitch perfect zero shot voice to voice timber transfer model based on Chatterbox VC. And the guy running this is a really friendly guy, because I was kind of a bit weird. And I was like, hate to sound silly, but you forgot to link the Hugging Face weights. And he was really cool about it, because it does sound like a bit of an ass, you know what I mean? But to be fair, you know what I mean? So yeah, apparently he's done that, which is nice, because if I'm being real, it's not just one. Checkpoints, upload checkpoints. But that's more stuff. There's more stuff. Hang on. The repo, here it is. It wasn't linked, that's all. So let's now see. Yes, it's his thing. Belt out, baby. Okay. Wow. That's quite a bit. How much is it? Lots of 300 megabyte models. They're all different numbers though. Yeah. Alright. I'm tempted just to use my, I got a Hugging Face CLI tool for downloading these. Isn't it weird though? I thought that, couldn't I just clone it? Wait, yeah. If you want to clone a lot without large files, just the pointers. Strange. Right, belt out. So I'm gonna new folder weights. And I'll just copy it myself if it's not actually, do you know what I mean? Yeah. CD weights, and then we'll just take that, please. I'll have all of that. Okay, and then we can go back to the repo, wherever it is. And there. So. This was the bit. I wanted to do this first. I don't really use Conda. So while that's running, let's just double check this guy. Disco Diffusion. I wanted to modernize Disco Diffusion basically, because it's kind of old and cool, and I think that if we could get it working. Look at this, clone this repo into your custom nodes, right? Well, I probably will do that, but I just want to make sure it's all set up right. So let me just see this here. So there's a place we have to put the models. Wait, the sum of all weights cannot equal 0. Okay. Greg Rakowski. Has anybody seen Greg Rakowski for a while? Look at that. I haven't seen that guy's name written down in a minute. I can remember for about a year, all anybody was going on about Greg Rakowski. Martin says, Pen Island, they knew. Have you read the blurb about working with hardwood? Yeah, it's classic marketing guy. Classic. Alternatively, you can substitute the OpenAI clip loader for Comfy UI's clip loader and clip vision. However, in this case, you need to copy the clip model you use, both the clip and clip vision folders, because Comfy can't load both at once in the same model file. Yeah. So really, we should be putting them to clip and clip vision, because that's where they get put. You got to think this repo here was made at a time. It was made at a time when a lot of the standards hadn't actually been worked out yet. We've got to hit yes. Just say yes. How are we doing on the images? No. Yep. Right, now what I've noticed about Stable is it actually, I've got a new training formula for it. It's actually training nicely. You got to remember, I'm using words like watercolor, line art, illustration. So for it to come out looking like this is not bad, actually. It's very close to what it should look like. And we're not using, until the next two images, we're not using Canny. This is pure text to image from Laura. So you can see it does look kind of like it's drawn. Obviously her face is a bit too good. And it wanders a little bit. That's a bit too Asian. The only thing I've noticed is that hands are bad. So I need to find, I think maybe that's a training issue though. Maybe a formula issue. Because this is the character. And all of these artifacts are part of this strange style that I created, okay? So, yes, that is supposed to be there, actually. Yes, everything is supposed to look like a metallic pumpkin. Her neck is not supposed to be broken like that, though. Okay, so now it's going to load with Canny, and we're going to see if it actually gets better. See, this isn't bad. I need to train more different styles, because Flux doesn't get birds right, guys. People go on about Flux. Flux also gets birds wrong. So I'm not going to judge it based on that. And this is supposed to be an illustration, not a photo. Remember, we were illustrating a book. We were illustrating a story with descriptions of the character from the book. That's how we did this project. So instead of the art leading the story, we let the story lead the art instead, and then develop the character into a consistent design that lines up with the books. I need to get that as a square, just like that as a reaction meme. Flat head. So weird. So it's reloading everything because I decided to load the control net. So he's swinging a stick around in this one. 32. How's Belt Out doing? Okay, Belt Out looks good. Get the next step. Conda, activate. Conda, activate. Belt Out. Oh. Run Conda in it. That's what? Okay. Alright. We'll run Conda in it. What is going on here? No change, no change, no change. Modified Anaconda scripts, profile D. Is this all the stuff that it didn't do? Because I had to actually add it to it was like, to install Conda, use Conda. And I'm like, you can't. Conda doesn't exist. So I put Conda on path, and then it works. And then it's like, oh yeah, you have to use Conda in it. And now it's just set up all the stuff that I had to do. It's genius. That's genius. So I've got to now open and close all of my, this is what I ran into earlier. If I close one of them, the rest stop the cache updating. So I'll come back to this later, because again, Conda's making me close my entire desktop again. Ridiculous. Shame. Right. So the C-Dance stuff, if I remember right, I've just got to do npm run dev and just make sure that the VHS effect actually works. There's no need to even generate a video with the API to C-Dance, because I can pretty much just use one of the videos in the gallery. I actually think I'm going to end up with a gallery which uses all of my effects. You know, you can just pick any videos you want then. But it was cool. It was cool to build. Can we go to the oi go to the thing. He's trying to embarrass me in front of all my friends. So this would be my C-Dance API. It uses FAL, I think. So you get a FAL key, you put it in an env file, and you can do image to video. I think it's like 18 cents or 36 cents. It's very good as well. It's very good. But yeah, like I said, I got a bunch that I made earlier here. And at the moment we're testing my VHS Effect V3, which is a bit cooked, don't you think? A bit cooked there. So if we just grab this lovely video, which we used Flux Context to make everything on fire first, we'll take that video, add it to the post effects queue, and I'm testing VHS V2. There are plenty of other effects here, but we'll do the VHS V2. I'm going to go with default. And I'm just going to turn everything down to values that I'm familiar with, or close to values I'm familiar with. Ringing is on. Okay, save that and apply. And as you can see, the Python is Pythoning. So let's get back to that disco diffusion again. What the hell, man? Guided diffusion layer. So where's the models at? I know it gave links. GitHub for use with ComfyUI. GitHub models. Where do you put the models? They're automatically downloaded, it says, into Disco Diffusion. I'm thinking actually this may as well just go into ComfyUI, if that's git clone recursive. Yeah, may as well just put it straight. It looks good. I thought it'd need a bit more changes, but it looks like it's just ready to go. Close that. Oh, we got our video back. Let's see what it looks like. Actually, that does look like old VHS, to be fair. Let's go again. It might be a little bit too strong still. It's actually pretty good. Alright, for fun, yeah, we'll put the trails on it. Where's the trails at? That's my favourite one. Put the trails on it. Go. And hopefully it was just normal trails, not custom trails. It's not finished. It lies with the progress a lot. Yep, it's done. Ooh, this looks cool. What the heck? And now what I want to do as well is have like RenBG powered overlay tools to like slap all this stuff together with different layer stuff. Because you don't use this like this. You use this like a masking layer with a blending option and like 50%. Like 50% subtraction or soft light at 75 or something. And it just gives it a little bit more. There's just something else going on. Anyway, loads of stuff you can do. So like I said, using that same trails, but with a different preset, you show you how it'll turn it into something like a 3D laser scan effect. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that you can do with these effects, and these are already nodes in Comfy UI. All I've done is extracted my Comfy nodes and turned them into a post effects, right? So if I take, let's say, is it that one? Is that one post effects? No, it's not one. It's that one. If I take that one, Trails V2, I can put it into my upscale queue, and you'll all. This is my. If you've used my stuff before, you'll recognize interlaced upscaling, and this is the exact same tool. But it's like, you know, just done with the UI, not nodes. It's the same code though. I wonder how long it'll take to get the API response for upscale. Oh, here we go. Conda is moaning because you're not in a Conda PowerShell window. Yeah, you're correct. You are correct. There's not much I can do about that. While that's happening, have we finished with Comfy yet? Oh, with ControlNet Canny, that's pretty good. Let's see what the next one looks like. No special effects on this. This is just the output from Stable Diffusion 3.5L. No face swapping. Wow, the face is really good in that one. That's actually a really nice image. Because, you know, we use Flux for everything these days, you know what I mean? And I like to go back and have another little look-see here. Yeah. It's not bad, you know. I actually like this. There are some things about this which I actually prefer over Flux. Because Flux, like, it never gets the staff right behind it. And Flux kind of it does strange things to physique sometimes. Not that this isn't either, I'm just saying, you know. Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember that. Oh, she's supposed to be really small and far away. And it just kind of did whatever. Didn't really follow the canny there at all. But then again, I've got it on 0.66, so I hope I've got the right setting. But yeah, I got confused with that because she was like really small and in the trees, I think, if I remember that right. Unless it's making that one now. Let's see. Huh. Huh? That isn't anything like what we made. I mean, that is like, ooh, that's terrible actually. Ugh. Ugh. That was horrible. Alright, well, we'll do one more and then I'm restarting it because I need to find out what's going on with those nodes. So anyway, getting back to the main topic of discussion for tonight, the curation, the captioning. So we've talked about captioning, we've talked about grammar. That's actually a pretty good one. Restart before I lose my will to do. See, that's actually a good image. It learned the face, it learned the outfit, the hands are bad. She's walking down the stairs. It doesn't seem to have learned metallic cabbage like Flux did, but that's probably actually my fault. Okay, so while it's restarting everything, let's restart all these again. Oh yeah, and just see dance, did this work? I think it did. Because if it did, it's time to update the project. So we upscaled this video. It's a shame there's no cheap interpolation solution. I bet there is. I bet there's a cheap, but then what's the point? You know what I mean? We have Rife, it's good. Rife is good. Rife, because film is a bit costlier, so I prefer Rife. Gims is the best, but it's a memory hog. Okay, so C-Dance video generator is good. That means we can do an update. So C-Dance video generator, upload files, C-Dance, right click, reveal, and then it's actually just from scripts down. Wrong keyboard. That to there, not that, and not that, and then you've pretty much got it. Yeah. Updates. But yeah, like I said, I was happy with the train because it looked more artistic than because Flux turns everything into photographs. It's my only complaint. It's fine though, you know, you complain about it being so good, it's funny. But yeah, Flux has a habit of turning everything into photographs, and the only thing I could find with Stable 3.5 was the hands problem. But I don't know if that's actually a training problem. Like, it might be that there's a way to train, because it's not like I ever mentioned her hands, you know what I mean? The hands aren't actually mentioned in the prompt. So maybe if the caption, it actually said, oh, her hands are, you know what I mean? I've never actually described the hands. Do you know what I mean? So it might just be that you have to mention them in the training, and then it will learn those examples. Like I said, the face is good. I mean, it's close to what her face is. It's got a bit of a glitch there, but, you know, as faces go, it is recognizable as the character. But yeah, like I said, it's always worth going over a data set just to make sure maybe you had some captions that were distracting or maybe could be reworded. And this is why I always do what I call smooth captions for the V0 train, where every image or video has the same caption applied, and it'll be like, you know, for example, right? Woman with white hair wearing an orange fur outfit standing in front of ruins. See, that could apply to just about everything in the whole thing, couldn't it? So then I do like an investigatory V0 train to see what did it learn, you know, because when you run inference, you're like, oh, okay, so it learned all the trash, it learned the graffiti, it learned these pumpkin-shaped things, it's learned fur, but, you know, what did it not get? Well, she's got a black belt, not an orange belt, so maybe I should mention the belt. You see what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, cool. So maybe I should mention her hands. You know, maybe I should say she's got her hands on her hips or something, so that instead of it just being like, I don't even know what to do with these, they actually have like a thing that they're doing. And I mean in the training, not in the... Because unfortunately, if you do a train and then the result is this character always has mutated hands now. Even though it may be able to make good hands, we've now taught the concept, whatever it thinks this is, has hands like this now. So it's essentially a failure, do you know what I mean? But it might not be us, it might be the base model. So this is a good example of what I mean by curation. It's not just removing images and adding more images, it's removing words and adding more words to try and get a better result out of a retrain. And Sharona is V4, okay? Sharona is V4. And this is just an output from a retrain, but if I was to show you... Do I have her here? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's the model. Oh, no. Back. Yeah, here we go. So if I show you the actual model, this is the model that was trained. Okay. This is the model that was trained. So it's by no means a perfect data set or anything, right? It's all synthetic. But there is a consistency in the look and in the outfit. Now you can find micro inconsistencies, of course, because it isn't real. It's all fake, you know what I mean? It's 100% engineered from, like, you know, a long history of retrains and stuff. But it's only supposed to illustrate a novel, which is it's more text than it is images. So I only really need this model to do, like, the cover art. Maybe like a centerfold, you know how sometimes you have, like, in the middle of the book, you might have some color pages with a character in a situation. So, and there's a lot here that are very usable. But again, this isn't actually V4. This is what was used to train V4. I'm showing you the data set right now. You know, so it's kind of interesting how that ends up training. So we've talked about trigger words, we've talked about grammar, we've talked about not making your life difficult with the prompt template, right? We've talked about the context of, like, where we want to put actions, because we're actually training a classifier with a custom token. That's what we're really doing. So then it's like it has to be an appropriate classifier. Dance is now in Rev 10. Holy crap. Got a new effect, VHS V2. Like I said, I'm putting this project on hold now because it's pretty much done. You know, you want to generate video with Dance, you can do it all privately, and there's a bunch of post-processing and upscaling and stuff. It's up to you what you do. It saves everything on your computer. It's not any more expensive than doing it through the main website. This is a fun project, so I hope it's useful for people, because you might want to build something off of this. I don't know, but yeah. So that's that. Dance API done. Another one done. And as you can see here, the Agent Cognitus Nexus, that was the lovable, and then the Zero Vector 4 Dev, that is my current, you know, what's on the laptop. That's probably what this one will probably get built. This one will be used as a demonstrator, you know, because what I'll do is I'll hook it back up to OpenRouter and I can do a live demo of what the concept is, because it takes a while to explain what the hell it is, you know. Alright, so that's that done. Get that out of the way. So we've still got one open, belt out. Oh god, I can't believe it. You know what, I'm gonna try it. Close that. Open it back up again. It looks like it's loading up for the first time. No, see, it's loaded. Right, do you know what? I'm just going to ignore him and hope it doesn't break. We'll see what happens, won't we? Where the hell is the thing on? Belt out, belt out, belt out, belt out. Okay. So wait, what? It says base. Surely it should be called belt out, not base. Hang on, let me try something here. Do you have to say conda deactivate? It'd probably be useful to know. Okay. It just says base. No, I was right. See, what the hell was base? Weird. So, okay, so we switched into it. Good. We shouldn't be in weights. We should be in tools, which we are. Okay, so PowerShell Windows. We're in PowerShell. It's kind of ironic that it just said now download without the big files after you have to put the big files into a... Put the... What? Yeah. Okay, so you... Okay, download a checkpoint for each model. Yeah, I basically put them all, didn't I? But, CD, belt out, LS. Yep, CD, belt out. And then, do you know what I think has happened here? I think that it's just that checkpoint folder and everything else can pretty much go. Like, if I put it there, yeah, and then just delete that, yeah. Okay, so now I've got all the checkpoints. Alright, let's see it break, because this is 2 years old as well, you see what I mean? Install -E. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting confused. It's not 2 years old. That was the other thing. That was the other thing. God knows. We'll give it a blast, right? Seems to be working. So far, so good. Simpy. Sounds like Ren and Stimpy. Said it's Numpy and Simpy. We've looked at the cloudage. So the only other thing was the fusion stuff, this stuff. There it is. By Space Nuka. This is the one that was 2 years ago. Yes. Let me see this thing. I want to see if it still works. Git clone recursive. I think we did that much. We just didn't do that much. And the reason was because... Yeah, of course. It's a custom node, right? So we'll have to go and do that in Comfy UI. Comfy UI, we want to go to custom nodes. See you. Just, yeah. Useless. Oh, give me that terminal. Oh wait, no, he's already given me the whole thing, right? Oh my gosh, what's it doing? It's cloning so much stuff right now. Yeah, it must be all of the models that it needed. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No. No. Stop. It's not stopping. Yes, keyboard interrupt. I just realized that is not for us. That is for system Python users or people in a cloud instance. If you're using Comfy Portable, it's got portable embedded Python, which means you're going to need my install portable.bat. I'm going to bring Pitman as well. I've been including Pitman in a lot of releases lately because it just seems to help. But yeah, all it does is make sure that when you do the pip install, it installs to not your system Python, but the actual embedded Python that your comfy uses. In the case of Portable, which I'm using Portable. So yeah, you don't want to be running an install on system and then booting up an embedded, and then it's like, well, what? You haven't installed it yet. Confusing, but makes sense when you understand what's going on. So I include that there. You just put it in the base of any custom node that has a requirements.txt, and it will install it to the best of its ability for you. It's pip-doobie pip-bound. So that's now apparently installed. So if I restart my comfy UI, but before I do that, I was already fixing a node as well. Yeah? So let me test that before I restart it again, so we get two birds with one stone. It's kind of like an insane meandering, but we're doing like 5 things at once. I would wish, look, see, I get bored. When I have to sit here for 10 seconds, I'm like, I could have typed a prompt and hit enter somewhere else and built a whole new piece of software. So these waiting things are actually killer now. Oh, it's not even his fault. The D drive is empty. That's the 3rd hard drive to run out in the last couple of days. Ooh, wait. It says it's got 10 gigabytes left. How can it have 10 gigabytes left and be empty? Ah, it's the C drive. You sneaky bugger. He was filling up my C drive with Hugging Face cache. Every time, guys, every time, you can't make this up. It's always the same thing. Hugging Face cache on C just cooked my Windows again. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Scout. Yeah, Scout time. Now I wonder if I've still got it installed. I bet I do. Let's see. That's the wrong keyboard. It's there. It's getting away from me. Come back. I hate Windows so much. Scout. I saw the folder. Now it's gone. There it is. Look, you're useless. Alright. Yeah, so anyway, I built this thing for this reason. Scout basically is going to dump all of my crap into NAS. I just need to make sure the NAS is actually working, because that would be fun. Yeah, the NAS is going to be down now. There's always something. And they had like this really rememberable piece of software that you have to use to control it. You know, like it's like you'll never forget what the name of the. It's so memorable. Right. Apparently, it's up, but it's offline. Yeah. Put that over to one side. It's like side quest, roadblock. NAS is not working. Hopefully it'll decide to be a NAS again soon. Offline. Wake it up then. Goons. Absolute goons. This is why I ended up having a Linux server that was always on, and you just connect to that. Because a lot of these like super cool NAS boxes, you know, they work for a while, and then after about a year they stop working, and then you have to like pay fees to get them. Yeah. Come on, my guys. Why can't we just sell something that works? New window. Open folder. Got belt out open. We were looking at C dance. Yes. Wait, it's not there anymore. Now, oh yeah, but then see, everything gets just blown out of the water by no space. And apparently, look, I don't have a NAS anymore, guys. It's only, don't worry, it's only 8 terabytes. Nothing to worry about, nothing to be concerned about. Help. Oh nice, the refresh button actually worked for a change. It says online now. Right. Oh, it's making beeping noises now, that's good, isn't it? Can you open it? Can you show me? Show me. Okay, well while it decides it's going to be a hard drive again, I'll have to like whisper sweet nothings into its ear. You're in the middle of configuring a NAS, and yeah, sorry about that, bro. Dragon asked, was it cabbages, pumpkins, or lettuces? It was cabbages. There were metallic cabbages in the background. It says it's online, but the tool I use won't work if it can't access, you know. So like if I try to access the NAS, oh, okay, we're in business. Right, thank God for that. So this is already installed with a VNV, so I should be able to simply, right, let me just double check. So, because I'm terrible. Sometimes I change how you're supposed to do it. So there'll be a run back which runs the virtual machine, and then it will say, right, it's a batch file where you just type stuff. Okay, so run back. So we're going to run Scout 2. More than expected at this time. Okay. I think I just found out that it's broken. I'm using deep freeze mode. Yeah. Okay, cool. So basically, all I need to do is just do Python scout2.py, and then it should tell me, yeah, we're in. Okay, now I think I already have. Right there, bro. So, my target path for Scout is going to be downloads. Yeah? Because it's probably full of crap, right? And then my destination path is going to be my NAS. Let me try that one more time. Why has it got extra slashes? Oh, it's because it's JSON. Herpader. Let's try that one more time, yeah? Okay, and now, normal mode, it just organizes by file extension. Deep sort will eat all of the files in subdirectories as well. I prefer deep freeze which organizes files into folders by their extension, but freezes subdirectories into underscore folders. So it's a little bit less destructive, because this is kind of like a shredder that just takes data and sorts it into folders by extension type, whereas deep freeze will keep the subdirectories, which is probably better for downloads, because there's probably like data sets in there. So you imagine you had like 10 data sets, so if you hit it with deep sort, it'll just shred all the images into one place and all of the text files into another place. It's like you just shredded your data sets. So yeah, deep freeze is what I tend to go with. 1,299 files. That doesn't even include the photos. I might actually be killing my NAS right here. Let's do it. I mean, it's always bloody switched off anyway. Cheeky guy. Says it's going to take an amount of time. So then, yeah, so we had a little look at the results. So I've obviously got a nice training, I've got a training recipe for SD35 large, but I need to do more training on different models to find out which one is best. Synology NAS. I did get a TerraMaster NAS because they were much cheaper and seems to be the same thing, but you know, then again my NAS keeps turning off, so maybe I should have bought Synology after all. To be fair, I've worked for clients who have Synology NASs that always turn off too, so I think it's just a common problem with the NAS. But yeah, like I said, that was a good picture. The face isn't great, but you can do a face swap to restore it. We have a face model for this character, so it's easy to get the face right. The hands are a little bit bad, but that's been a thing since day one, so I'm not like going to hold it to it. How are we doing over on the other side here? Seems to have stopped. Wouldn't it be funny if it's like, yeah, the NAS is full. You know, like you're trying to copy files from C, and then it's like, yeah, the NAS is full now. I don't even think I've got like a recycling problem. I think that, yeah, my recycling bin is empty. So that's just pure, just filling it up. I do think that with all the development, there's probably a lot of virtual environments, you know, so you've got like 300 Python virtual environments, and they're all like 1 to 5 gigabytes each. And I think all of that adds up, and you end up with like wasted space. So I'll probably be going back through my projects folder and just deleting a bunch of those. Like for example, this one has one, look. It's only 25 megabytes actually, that's not too bad. But that doesn't have like CUDA in it. So like anything that has CUDA in it, which is nice. Yes! What are you doing? I always get a bit suspicious when it doesn't respond, because it might have just deleted the folder that you were trying to open. Windows is fun like that. See, this is the thing, you know, when people are complaining, oh, I can't believe you trust the AI to make all these changes on your computer. I'm like, I can't believe you trust Windows to do all these changes on your computer. I use it begrudgingly, because a lot of paid software is only for Windows, so you have to use Windows. But if I'm being honest, it's probably... Isn't it weird how the worst option is the most common and popular option? Is that strange? I mean, look, let's be real. You could do worse than Windows. You could have the Chinese Windows, which is like ancient, right? Is it really worse though? Was Windows XP a mistake? This is like the weapons debate that we have every now and then. You know, was Windows 10 a mistake? You know, did we go too far? Right? I'm not sure. So let me get in my AI archive dataset section. Because I'm sure, yeah, I've got gunsight. Is that gunsight 1 or gunsight 2? Gripping the wheel, gripping, yeah, they're all the same. It doesn't matter. Okay, all that effort. We finally get in there? No. Because I will need to, yeah. We've still got a lot of work to do on the Empire stuff. The Empire stuff was looking really cool, and then we moved on to other projects. So I do want to go back to Empire at some point. I think it had some really cool aesthetics that were worth exploring, but you know, the work comes first, and then the art comes when you have the time and the inspiration, right? You know, because I couldn't, if you sat there and said make art, I wouldn't even know. The music's louder than your voice drift, says Kirk. Yeah, I think this particular track is quite loud, and I was sitting far away from the mic, so I'll try chewing on it a little bit. How's that, boys and girls? Yeah, switch on to moving folders now. So basically, the stream got we got hobbled, guys. We got hobbled. Yeah. Oh, failed to move. Access is denied. What? Look at this. Downloads LTX agent at home LLM base prompts objects pack IDX failed. Failed to move. New updo. See what I mean? Some of these folders are corrupt or not movable, and others are movable. This folder's OGV0 captions. What? OG what? Well, it's doing it. See, the thing is, if I can't bloody install anything, not much I can do about that. Yeah, according to the levels, I should be the loudest boy. But I don't know. Sometimes tracks out-level me. So let's have a look at the state of play here. We got 6 gigabytes free. Alright, it should at least let me do the thing. I just want to see this work, because we were getting so close. Come on. It got stuck on 98 of 102. Torch crap. I mean, this is really old as well, so... Hey, we did it! I can't believe we did it. Come on, show me belt. Show me belt out. Belts out. Here we go, Python run. Right, which will start a Gradio. Oh, finally. Jeez. Sometimes it's like bleeding a stone. Have you ever tried to bloodlet from granite? Oh, wait, what? Huh? Searching inside for checkpoints. Which one do you want? Huh? I'll use that one. Searching inside path. Pitch. Right, well, let's just use the most trained one, because I don't even know. Yep. Oh, I see. It's just... Right. Okay. LoRa compatible linear. Oh, nothing broke yet, guys. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Here we go. Right. Music. Hello, everyone. One of these days we're just going to drop the music, but I thought we'd like it low, at least get to episode 200 before I make a big change like that, you know? So the model represents timber as a list of 192 numbers, which is called the X vector. Okay, so now this is belt out. It looks like we've got it installed, guys. So wish us luck. We're going to have a little go here. So voice A. Okay, I need to get the microphone here. Microphone. No microphone. Why is there no microphone? Hold up. There's always something, isn't there? Now the bloody microphone won't work. Your thing is not secure. Don't care. Don't care. Stop nerfing the internet. Oh, God. These people. What the hell? Camera not allowed. Is this plugged in? Yeah, it's plugged in. Apparently there's no microphone. Oh, man. You know what I mean? Like when you... So you go to... There, generate random voice. I just want to hear it do something. I just want to see it do something. I haven't seen it do anything yet. Save or load vector. Conversation. Generation setting. High quality pass. Upload or record source audio. Does this one have a microphone? No microphone. All right, it's being, you can see how, you know, awkward. Okay. Side quest. Awkward means side quest. Infinite side quests. What? What the hell is this? I don't care. Go away. Go away. Right, go away. Look at all this. 6 pop-ups for Audacity. Classic. All right, cool. So anyway, this is a test to see if we... Wait, there's no sound. There's no sound wave. This is not a test because the microphone's not plugged in or something. Hang on a minute, guys. I think I know what it is. Yep. No. Actually, no. Normally the Elgato steals the microphone, but in this case it did not. It is actually set up to use the microphone. Do we have a test thing here? Test. Yeah, I can see the thing. I can see it right there. That's sound coming in. Yes, let's put it up to full. Hello. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. So what the hell is Audacity using? Are we using some kind of like virtual microphone or something stupid? Or what have I got to do? Have I got to tell it to use a microphone now? Audio setup, recording device. Yep, it's using a virtual microphone. Oh, genius. I love Windows. You spell that O-Z-E. This is we've got it. We've got it, guys. We got past the technical gatekeeping and we're in. To the start. So, what I'm going to do is make a short sample of stuff where I'm just going to read out things that are on my screen in a rough effort to try and get a timber sample rather than a voice imprint or whatever it is that they call it. Yeah, I'm far away from the normal microphone, guys. I'm actually not. There's 2 microphones and they're about 3 feet apart, all right? So that's why I'm like over here talking to this one. We're going to get, I don't know, do you reckon we should get a couple of minutes? It doesn't actually say anywhere how many minutes I need to get. I don't see, you know what I mean? There's no like tooltip or anything saying, oh, you should probably record. Let me see. Should we record 2 minutes? 3 minutes? What do I need to do here? Nope, doesn't say. let's go back to the main page. I'm just going to keep talking, guys. I'm not trying to like, I know it's just waffle, but I'm just trying to give it something to keep learning. La-dee-doo-dee-da-dee-doo. Listen from 2 to 2:30. No. Listen from 1 to 1:30. No. Pause at 30. No. How many seconds? 40, 50 seconds works great. That's chunk sizes. Examples and tips. I'm just looking through here. Keep it talking. Keep it talking. To be honest, it doesn't actually... Do I have to put up another... do I have to put another ticket in here? How long do I need to record my voice for? Well, I guess we'll just keep on... keep going. It'll go for 2 minutes. So in 15 seconds, we're going to be able to end the recording test and save it as a particular audio file. I do not know. Maybe it should be a WAV monotone file. Maybe it should not be. But we're going to find out. Alright. Bloody hell. Waffling on for 2 minutes is harder than it sounds. So let's just scrub that back down to there. Okay, and then it's a Control A, and it's a Control Export. Export audio as WAV. I think mono. Let me check. See, this is the thing. It's kind of important. I'm back on the main mic again, guys. So it doesn't actually say. Read the technical report. I mean. See, it's too much reading. It's too much reading. It's too much reading. I'm gonna get back to the Gradio. Where's this being saved? Come on, downloads. All right, let's say Johnson rambles about nothing. Downloads, rambles. Get rid of that. Synth style blender, voice randomizer. Main conversation. Save or load voice. Save active vector. Numpy. Oh, really? Guys, Kokoro, remember how we discovered that the voices were numpies and we were allowing people to save them and blend them and stuff? Isn't that interesting? This does that too. That's cool. Doesn't look like he's put spherical interpolation on the blending though, so we might be able to give this guy some more extra words. So upload record source. I'm just going to put it in here. Let's just put it in there. Johnson rambles. And then high quality single pass. And then when I say run, what's it going to do though? I don't... What are we going to do here? Exactly. Is it going to... It's going to break. That's what it's going to do. It's going to break. Invalid value encountered in cast data. That's a good start. I hope it works. Starting high quality conversation. See, I don't even think that's what this does. What are we doing? I bet this is for singing only or something. First voice cloning model. So this is supposed to be a voice cloning model, but not really, because it's about timber. We copied this already. We already read all of this out on a previous show. I'm not too sure if this is going to do what I want it to do. Like, yeah, it's turning voices into vectors, but I'm not seeing it do anything else, guys. It's not doing it. Conversion mode, high quality, single pass. See, I don't even know what this is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's just me talking for a bit. I don't think that's what this... Like, what are we even generating? Because, you know, I put in something and then it... Blend up to 8 voices and 8 pre-saved vector files. Chunk size will appear. How much VRAM you have. You can set chunk size to something. Yeah, I don't even like, shouldn't it just be able to like do something without me needing to do a bunch of operations? I'm just gonna say that this is either broken or just like slow right now. I think that's a bunch of didn't work errors, guys. Fun. Oh, it is what it is, I guess. Kind of crappy, but let's leave on a high note, shall we? Let's do one more thing. Just one more, just one more. No, we're not doing that one. No, we're not doing that one. No, we're not doing that one. I've just got to pull up my project, which I haven't completed yet. Here it is. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of these together. You've got a bunch of orangutans working on infrastructure. Yeah? With the videos. I got a whole bunch of them. Sometimes he's having his dinner. I don't know why, it just kind of fits. Not quite sure why he's welding with a spanner and high voltage, but you know. I did a whole bunch of other stuff, but this is just one of them. I think we like shared some of this on Twitter. But yeah. And what I wanted to do was dub the dub the lines so it's a consistent human voice for all the videos. And this is why I'm trying to get a voice cloner running. You know what I mean? It's all kind of related, and it's like everything blocks everything else. But that's all we got time for. So tomorrow on the show, we're going to be continuing a lot more. Probably going to continue. I want to write Sharona book 3 tomorrow, and we're going to be covering some new workflows with Flux Dev context. So that's tomorrow. Just looking at the chat in case I miss anything. Surprise, surprise, I have to patch OS 4 times. Oof. Well, I hope you finish it all. Free tier, no access for work. What may I be missing? So anyway, it was fun looking at Belt Out, but it looks like Belt Out needs to get a bit of work done. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Same time, same place. See you there. Holy crap, belt out worked. Check the inside line. Good night, guys.